All right, here we've got cosine of theta plus tangent of theta times sine of theta. I'm going to start with the strategy of changing everything to put them in terms of sine and cosine. So obviously the first one is already cosine, so no change there. But I can replace tangent with sine over cosine. And then sine is already in terms of itself. Okay, so I'm doing a quotient identity there to replace. So then I've got, this is going to be sine squared over cosine. And this will still just be cosine. Now we've got two terms being added, one of which is a fraction, and we know to add fractions you have to have a common denominator. Right now the denominator of this term is an understood 1. So to get a common denominator, I could multiply that by cosine in the numerator and denominator. And that would be giving me cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta together over that new common denominator of cosine. Now that should stand out to you. Sine squared plus cosine squared, that's our Pythagorean identity, which is equivalent to 1. And then you've got 1 over cosine, which technically is simplified to a single trig function, but it's also a fraction. If you can get it to not be a fraction, that's what you want to do, which here you would just use a reciprocal identity. 1 over cosine is equivalent to secant. So I'll put throughout this problem the steps. So this was quotient ID, and this was getting a common denominator. And then we had Pythagorean ID, and then we had reciprocal ID.